Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Manoj Kumar Paras. I am an assistant professor in Government Degree College, Bhojpur, Muradabad. Today in this lecture, we will study simple harmonic motion, which in short form is also known as SHM. To understand the simple harmonic motion, let us first see this figure, in which there is a spring and one end of the spring is connected to a particle of mass m. Another end of the spring is connected to a rigid body. Now in this position where this mass is placed, suppose at point O, this position is known as equilibrium position of the particle. Now when this particle is displaced at some distance, suppose x, and released, it starts to execute oscillations about its mean position. So this type of motion is known as simple harmonic motion. This simple harmonic motion is a periodic motion. Periodic motion means the motion which repeats itself over and over again after a time interval, and that time interval is known as its time period. So now when this particle is oscillating, a force F acts on it, and this force tries to restore the particle to its equilibrium position. Means this force is acting towards its mean position, or you can say the force is acting in a direction opposite to the direction of motion of the particle. So this force is actually directly proportional to the displacement of the particle. So this can be written like this: F is equal to minus kx, where this k is called spring constant, and the minus sign indicates that this force is acting towards the equilibrium position, means in the opposite direction of motion of the particle. Now so we have this force which is acting on the particle. This force is also known as restoring force. So F is equal to minus kx. Now from Newton's second law, the force can be written like this: m times mass times acceleration of the particle. In this case, the acceleration of the particle is d square x by dt square. Now since these forces are same, so we can equate them. So now we get this differential equation of second order. Now replace k by m to a constant which is omega 0 square, and this omega 0 is actually called angular frequency of the oscillator. Now this equation 3 becomes this one. Now in this case, where we did not taken account the frictional force, means we are assuming the particle is oscillating in vacuum. Actually this is an ideal case, this is not the real case. So in this case, the oscillations of the particle are called free oscillations, when there is no any kind of frictional force is present. So this differential equation, which is having second order, the solution of this differential equation is of this type: x is equal to a times e to the power alpha t, where a and alpha are some constant. Now when you put this value of x over here and second double derivative of x with respect to time over here, we have this equation, and we have two roots of alpha. Alpha is equal to plus I omega and alpha is equal to minus I omega. So since we have two values of alpha, so we have two solutions of this differential equation. One is x1 is equal to a1 e to the power I omega 0 t. Second is x2 is equal to a2 e to the power minus I omega 0 t. Now any linear combination of these two roots can be a general solution of this differential equation. So the general solution of the differential equation is x is equal to x1 plus x2, or this one. Now this term e to the power I omega 0 t and e to the power minus I omega 0 t can be replaced with cos and sine form. Like e to the power I omega 0 t can be written like this: cos omega 0 t plus I sin omega 0 t, and e to the power minus I omega 0 t can be written like this: cos omega 0 t minus I sin omega 0 t. Now if you simplify this, there is a1 plus a2 and I a1 minus a2. These are also constants, so you just replace them. This constant is replaced by a3 and this is replaced by a4. These are new constants. So the solution of the differential equation becomes this one. Now to get the simple form of this equation, we again put a3 is equal to small a sin phi, a4 is equal to small a cos phi, and we have this equation. So since this equation can be written like this, so this form is actually representing simple harmonic motion. X is equal to a sin omega 0 t plus phi. Here this a is the amplitude, which is maximum amplitude of the oscillator. Omega 0 is its natural angular frequency, and phi is called phase constant. Now we can also find out the time period of this simple harmonic motion. Time period is defined as the time interval during which the displacement of the particle becomes same. So when you replace t in this equation by t plus 2 pi upon omega naught, so just replace t, this t here, by t plus 2 pi by omega naught, so we get the same equation just like equation 7. So we can say this 2 pi upon omega naught is the time period of the oscillations. And once we know the time period of the oscillations, we can also find out its frequency. So since time period is this, when you put the value of omega 0, that is root k by m, so we have time period of the oscillations is 2 pi root m by k, and its frequency of oscillation is defined as the inverse of the time period. So this will come out 1 upon 2 pi square root of k by m. This is the natural frequency of the oscillations. Now we can also find out the velocity of the particle. Since we have the displacement is in this form, so just differentiate with respect to time, we can get the velocity of the oscillator, and that is this. So final velocity comes out this. Similarly, we can also find out the acceleration of the particle, that is just a differentiate velocity again with respect to time. So we will get acceleration of the oscillator is minus omega naught square times displacement. So simple harmonic motion can also be defined as the motion in which acceleration of the oscillator is directly proportional to the displacement of the particle. That motion is known as simple harmonic motion. Now the total energy of the harmonic oscillator can also be calculated. As we know, total energy E is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy, and potential energy of the particle is defined as this: force times small displacement, and you just integrate it from 0 to x. So we have potential energy is half kx square. Kinetic energy is defined as half times mass into square of the velocity. So put the value of velocity over here from here. So this is the kinetic energy of the particle, and total energy of the particle is half kx square plus kinetic energy part. So we get this much. This is the total kinetic energy of the simple harmonic oscillator. So this was the case when there is no kind of frictional force was present. Now we will see the real case. where the oscillator feels a resistive force from air, and that force is also called frictional force. So now consider the same case, and suppose the particle is oscillating in air. So then the frictional force Fd comes in picture. This frictional force Fd is actually directly proportional to the velocity of the particle. So this case is for damped harmonic oscillator, means what if the medium is present like air. So this resistive force or damping force is actually directly proportional to dx by dt, and dx by dt is actually velocity of the particle. So this frictional force can be defined as minus b dx by dt, where b is the damping coefficient. So the differential equation of SHM becomes like this. This Fd is the extra term which is coming due to the medium, which we have considered here air. So put the value of Fd over here and see this Fd is also acting in the same direction as the restoring force is acting. So this restoring force, which is minus kx, and this frictional force are acting in the same direction, so both are negative. So this differential equation becomes this. Now put b upon m is equal to 1 upon tau, where tau is known as relaxation time and k upon m is just the square of the angular velocity of the oscillator. This is the natural angular frequency omega naught of the oscillator. Now the differential equation becomes this. Now again the solution of this type of differential equation can be written like this: a e to the power alpha t. Now again put the value of x, dx by dt and d square x by dt in this equation and solve it. We get this one. Again we will have two roots, alpha 1 and alpha 2, where this beta is this much, square root of 1 upon 2 tau square minus omega naught square. We have considered this term as beta. So the general solution of this differential equation can be written like this: linear combinations of x1 and x2, that is a1 e to the power alpha 1 t plus a2 e to the power alpha 2 t. Put the value of alpha 1 and alpha 2 here. We get this equation: x is equal to e to the power minus t upon 2 tau in bracket a1 e to the power beta t plus a2 e to the power minus beta t, where a1 and a2 are some constants. So now, this is the solution of the differential equation 4, and this we are considering the case of damped harmonic oscillator. So now three cases arises. One case is, first case number 1 is called overdamped motion. In this case beta is taken as real. So when beta is real means the term which is under the square root should be positive, and the condition becomes this one. So this condition is the condition of overdamped motion. In this case the solution of the differential equation becomes this, in which this is the amplitude which is decreasing as time increases, and a1 and a2 are some constants which can be determined from the initial conditions. Now second case is critically damped motion. Critically damped motion occurs when beta is equal to 0. So beta is equal to 0 means this term is 0. It means 1 upon 4 tau square is equal to omega naught square. So this condition is known as critically damped motion. Under this condition the oscillations of the oscillator will become like this: e to the power minus t upon 2 tau a1 plus a2 t, where again a1 and a2 are some constants and can be determined from the initial conditions. Now the case 3 is when beta is imaginary, and this case is known as underdamping or damped oscillator motion. Under this condition, this is the equation. So this is the condition of underdamping, where beta is equal to, now beta can be written like this, or beta is equal to this. So put this beta in this equation, this one. This was the general solution of this case. So put the value of beta over here, we get this solution. Now this can be written like this. So now this e to the power I of this times t and e to the power minus I of this times t can be written in cos and sine form, like e to the power I theta is equal to cos theta plus I sine theta, and e to the power minus I theta is equal to cos theta minus I sine theta. Here theta is this quantity, square root of omega naught square minus 1 upon 4 tau square. So just replace theta with this quantity, we have x is equal to this much. Here again a1 plus a2 and I times a1 minus a2 are some constants, and these can be written by c and d. So we have x is equal to this. Now again replace c and d by these constants, so we get a simple form of the displacement. X is equal to a e to the power minus t upon 2 tau sine times square root of omega naught square minus 1 upon 4 tau square t plus phi, where this phi and a are constants. These equations can be written like this: x is equal to a to the power minus t upon 2 tau sine omega t plus phi. This omega is, so this omega is the angular frequency in this case, case 3, which is called underdamping case. Now, and these both a and phi can be determined by the initial conditions. Now if we plot a graph between the displacement x and time t for 3 cases, case 1, case 2, case 3, so we get these type of graphs. For case 1, I mean over damped motion, this displacement is behaving like this with respect to time t. It means damping is high, so that amplitude decreases and it goes to 0 without oscillation. Means amplitude decreases without oscillation. Similarly for case 2, which is critically damped motion, the amplitude again decreases and goes 0 without any oscillation. Means for case 1 and case 2, oscillations are not there and amplitude is decreasing to the 0 without oscillation. Now for case 3, the amplitude is decreasing through the mean position. X is equal to 0 is the mean position of the particle, and oscillation goes to negative direction and then again. So oscillations are there, but the amplitude of the oscillations are decreasing with time t. So this is for case 3. So what happens in this, when any medium is present and the oscillator is oscillating in that medium, so only case 3 will produce oscillations. Case 1 and case 2 will not produce any oscillations. So for case 3, we can find out the time period of the oscillation, that is 2 pi by omega, and since we have omega is equal to this value, so time period of this case 3 comes out this one. Similarly, the frequency of the oscillations can also be found, like frequency is written inverse of time period, so frequency comes out to be this. Now what we see, if suppose B is equal to 0, means there is no frictional force is present, so time period reduces to this value and frequency of oscillation reduces to this value, and this is the case of undamped or free oscillations. Means if there is no FD, means resistive force present, then the oscillations reduces to free oscillations. So what we see in this case, this damping means this resistive force due to air, this increases the time period and decreases the frequency of oscillation. So this was the story of simple harmonic motion, and I hope you will like it, and you can also share it to your friends, and thank you so much.